Live from Pahrump, Nevada. Okay, we just got done gassing up here, and we're headed back to Vegas. I got David Brugger and Kenny Rhoades with me here, and got a few things that we wanted to talk about. John Lamb had the opportunity to go in and meet with the inmates, the prisoners, this afternoon, and we learned some interesting things. There's one gentleman that his wife contacted us via Facebook, and her husband's been out there for 3 years. 3 years. And wait till you hear the bogus garbage charges. He builds rifles, okay? And he's ordering rifle parts, legal rifle parts, from authorized gun manufacturers over the internet. They arrested him for that. Unbelievable. I didn't get the gentleman's name. I wished I would have. John Lamb spent some time with him. I guess it was pretty emotional. He's pretty devastated. What's going on? He asked that we remember him, and that when he gets out of prison, he wants to do the same things that we're doing right now. All right? So he realizes just how bad things are, and didn't realize it before, and he wants to do the same things that we're doing now. Okay, that was a pretty big story in itself. There is another gentleman by the name of Robert that came from Oklahoma that has been staying there with us. Everybody say hi. Hey, David.
Hey.
Say hi.
Ice cream time. Now they're gonna melt.
Kenny. Trying business around. You can say hi, Kenny.
Hello, everybody. Ken Rhoades from Michigan.
Ken Rhoades from Michigan. Guess I'm going to be hogging the picture here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, well, you look a little cuter than the rest of us anyway.
Just a little bit?
Well, the sunglasses help just a whole bunch.
Okay, so I'm a whole bunch cuter with the sunglasses. So anyhow, Robert from Oklahoma, a patriot, he's been doing this sort of thing independently, going out and protesting.
I was supposed to tell him hi.
What's that?
I was supposed to tell him hi from Lori down in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And give him a button.
Give him. Well,
I seen him yesterday, and then she told me last night, and I didn't see him today.
So you failed your mission.
So far.
Gave you one job.
So far, I still got it.
Job. Okay. Well.
Where's he at?
Well, he's.
Okay, finish your story.
Okay. You gonna let me finish my story?
I think so.
Okay. So anyhow, he took Ryan Bundy's advice very seriously.
Oh, that was him.
And decided to hike around the prison 7 times. Well, because he's got a mileage meter on him. Thank you, David. I said it was about 2 miles. It turns out it's like 1.8 miles around there. So almost 5 hours it took him to walk around there. Well, I didn't hear about it until his last time around, so I joined him, and when we finished up, blew the shofar, the trump of God. I gave him a big hug and thanked him for being, it's my privilege and honor to do that one last lap with him. That's really impressive. He didn't go out and tell anybody, hey, look what I'm doing. Somebody saw him and decided to ask him what he was doing, and he said, I'm going to walk around this thing 7 times, just like the walls of Jericho. So, yeah, that was pretty darn neat. That's
awesome.
Yeah, it really touched my heart, And like I said, it was my privilege and honor to finish the last lap with him and to blow the trump of God, blow the shofar, and, hopefully that'll have an impact on what's going on there. There's some other news. One of the guards had made some good comments about the protesters, and he got fired. All right. So that tells you how things work, you know. It's so hard to actually get police officers and guards and things like that to be on our side. And then we do get somebody that's leaning towards our side, and they find out, they fire them. How pathetic, how pitiful is that? Okay, the biggest news, the blockbuster news, and we will finish with that because I know Kenny's got some comments that he wants to make. Sheriff Mack. Sheriff Mack was out there. Was it today Sheriff Mack was out there?
I think yes.
To the jail. He didn't visit any of the rest of us.
Right. He went in and talked to the prisoners, and specifically Ammon Bundy. And he told Ammon Bundy to tell us to leave, that we're causing trouble. Well, this
ain't the way to do the job.
Yeah. This isn't the first time Sheriff Mack has done something like that to patriots. And I know Kenny Rhoades, I'm going to turn this around where he can see it. Kenny's got some things he wants to say about this whole thing.
A little more. Somewhere in there. A little more.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, Kenny, what do you got to say, your feelings about Sheriff Mack? Try not to use any four-letter words.
Okay, Sheriff Mack, why didn't you have the nerve to come over there and tell us to leave? You said that we should handle this in the courts. We see how the courts is working, Sheriff Mack. They're as corrupt as you are. And if you think that ain't corrupt, you're very corrupt, Sheriff Mack. When I talked to you about 4 or 5 years ago and you was going to help the target individuals out, you didn't do nothing for us. Then when you found me at Bundy Ranch where I fell down the embankment and you came over and I told you about it, you couldn't wait fast enough to get out of there. Come on over there tomorrow. I'll be there in the morning, and tell me we should leave, and me and you will discuss it. I don't think you're going to like the discussion, though. I'm 73 years old, and I have no use for you. You're not a constitutional sheriff. You're a piece of crap. That's what you are. You and Stuart Rhoades should sleep in the same bed. You're both identical.
How do you really feel, Kenny?
I feel like he's an asshole.
Okay. Oh, here we go, back here. So Kenny Rhoades is not real happy with Sheriff Mack. Now, Sheriff Mack actually was on a talk show here, not even a year ago, I don't think. And Carl Koenig and myself had been invited to be on the talk show. And Sheriff Mack said what happened at the Malheur Refuge was a debacle. And Sheriff Mack said that Sheriff Ward was working with the feds to get Dwight and Stephen Hammond out of prison. And that the people that occupied the refuge, screwed that up. Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, if that was a fact, he hasn't said Sheriff Ward has not said one positive word for Dwight and Stephen Hammond. If you've seen it out there, as far as trying to get them out, I've seen nothing. I've seen absolutely nothing. So, and for Sheriff Mack to say that, to desecrate the memory of Lavoy Finicum, to desecrate the sacrifice, belittle the sacrifice of Lavoy Finicum and every other person that stood out there. Sheriff Mack, you're an embarrassment. You are an embarrassment. And you might as well just flush your CSPA down the toilet, because you are not teaching these sheriffs, your so-called constitutional sheriffs, you are not teaching them anything, okay? Because the sheriff that's out here in Pahrump is a member of CSPA, and I'm not impressed. Maybe some people are. I'm not impressed. If she really was doing her job, she would go to that prison and say, you're going to let these men out. I will take them into custody and I'll be responsible for them. She's not doing that. And pretty much all your sheriffs that I've seen are just like that. The only good sheriffs that I've actually met with and talked with are the sheriffs in southern Utah. And Sheriff Mack, you are not in their class, not at all. And I hope they don't have anything to do with you. Okay, David, you got a few things you'd like to say?
Can't think of anything. Ice cream's good.
Well, David, you usually got tons of stuff to say. What's going on, man?
Well, like I was telling these Bundy girls and all the rest of us, no people have ever been able to come against God's people unless we weren't right with God. So I think we need to start cleaning up our acts and get ourselves a lot more holy, clean, and true. Even just the little things will matter.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from that Christmas stuff. Get away from that Easter stuff.
That ain't gonna happen.
And I'm sorry, even birthdays aren't right. Birthdays are a Satanist's favorite holiday. Self-day. Everybody worship me, bow before me, and bring me gifts.
Okay, David. I think
Then we'll see God be able to give us a little bit of His time.
I think we should fast and pray. I think fast. Jesus said, "Fast often."
That's what I said.
Pray often. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Fast and get away from all these pagan rituals.
His shoes are mine.
Oh, I think that's yours. So anyhow, that's the latest. What's happening out here at the protest site? Most of the people have gone home. There'll be, let's see, John Lamb just said, there you go, exactly. John Lamb, Constitutional Sheriff Mack, has sold out our country. And I agree 100%. You know, people, the people that hurt you the worst are the ones that abandon you at the last moment. The people that hurt the country the worst is when we get some momentum going and compromise. They will compromise. Always watch out for those people. They're the worst. They jerk the rug right out from underneath you. And it's really sad. Stuart Rhoades, he's in that classification. What happened to Joe Robertson up there in his backyard? Or what's Ryan?
Ryan Payne?
Not Ryan Payne. His last name, Jake Ryan. Jake Ryan, same thing. Sheriff Runnell, okay, supposed to be a constitutional sheriff. Again, that's also in the backyard of Stuart Rhoades. What did they do? They did nothing. And they could have done everything. So, you know what? There's some good oath keepers, but I suggest get out of Stuart Rhoades' organization. I don't trust him at all anymore. You know, when he went out to the Bundy Ranch, the first thing I heard him say is he was just soliciting for funds. I don't know one good thing he did out there. Maybe he did do some good. I don't know what it is. But anyhow, people, what we got to do is, you know, if we want to win this thing, we got to have the Constitution and God's laws in our heart and independently stand up for the truth, regardless of what anybody else says. Just like Lavoy Finicum says, it matters how you stand. You've got to be independent-minded, have the truth in your heart, and you must take a stand. Okay? So that's the best. I think David's waving. Did you want to say
I said that's what I was saying.
Okay. Okay, here comes
Ken Rhoades again. And Sheriff Mack told us, you take these issues up in court, that we're hurting CCA and their corporation. Well, Sheriff Mack, we'd love to hurt them. We'd love to put them out of business. And if you think the courts is so good, they wouldn't have been up in Burns arguing if the court would have been listening to anything that we said. Just like they're not listening to anything now, telling the people's going to testify that you may be arrested because you're an unindicted co-conspirator. Maybe Sheriff Mack, being you was there that day, maybe you're a little afraid you're going to get arrested. So that's why you turned coat and took a little bit of money to sell out your country. Have a nice day, Sheriff Mack. I love you.
Okay, you sure about that? You love him, huh?
Yeah, I love to see him locked up.
I love to see him locked up. But I think there's a good point there. Sheriff Mack was at the Bundy Ranch standoff, so he was an unindicted co-conspirator. Stuart Rhoades also. And I think they realized that they were in jeopardy. I think they realized they were in jeopardy, and they just decided to turn. That's my personal opinion. Okay, getting back to the protest site, what's going on there? There's going to be people staying there. There's going to be people still coming and going. We're going to have it up at least to the end of this month, and we're toying with the idea. I say we is kind of what I was told. If we can get enough people to come and go, that we'll just keep it going through the trial. So, and that might be hard. I don't know if that's going to happen because the trials are actually taking place in Las Vegas. So, anyhow, that's what's going on there. So it's going to be there for one more week. If y'all want to come out and enjoy the desert, enjoy the heat. Like David loves the heat, by the way. He even told me so. He said, "Man, I just love this heat, this 100-degree stuff. I could stay out here for the rest of my life." Right, David?
My God. Every now and then, though, a breeze will come by and just blow everything away so we all get to chase it. Then we get to cool off for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Then it drops off and we sit in there and swelter. It's really a great time.
Well,
People wanted to know, are there any good campsites? We said, no, there's none, but there's lots of bad ones. Come on.
Lots of bad ones. Well, let me end on this note, everybody. I want to pay special attention to Robert from Oklahoma. You know, we were pushing 100 degrees today, pretty close to it. He walked 13 miles with the American flag. That's 7 times around that prison, and never asked for any attention. Just was determined to do it for the right reasons, and he did it. And again, I said it was my privilege to, you know, for the last lap. And even had I known, I don't think I could have done 13 miles. I really don't.
I'm real sure you